Welcome back to the show. So I think I'm gonna stop streaming to Facebook after this point. Just getting tired of this. So I just lost because I ran into a guy. The environment clips my vehicles every now and again, and it clipped my vehicle as I ran next to a person, and um, it completely launched my vehicle off to the side. So I figured, you know what, this guy already randomly lag shot me and glitched me out, so I know they're hacking. It's a network to network hack, like ISP to ISP. So, the only reason I know about this stuff is because I used to have a clan back in the game that this guy's from, which is Combat Arms, and in that game, I didn't know, but I mean, like, by the time the guy told me, it was like probably like a month into my clan being established, and the kid was supposedly the son of like the main person that started up GameStop. So like that's when I started realizing, when they started popping me from network to network, I would start meeting more and more people. Like whenever I'd meet one person or do something like start up my own clan, and once my clan got like heavy level set, they wouldn't just group me with the same typical players. They would start grouping me with like completely like higher casualty, higher loss type networks, and I started figuring out and started being filled in with this information by other people that like it's like impossible to really say how I met. Welcome back to the show. So as I was saying, this guy this player person, not too sure if it's a player or person or if it's a male or female, but whatever. They show up into my squad like the same day that they released that full set, and part of that full set also, I guess, over in China, since he seems to be Chinese or something, they released like a completely different set, and their set was like some little like anime type Chinese propaganda, Chinese cartoon trying to be Japanese anime propaganda. So it was just kind of crazy. It was kind of cool. It was one of the best sets I've ever seen. I had just been speaking about how I got into like how whenever I get like my apologies for the pedophiles in the background screaming. So regardless, the propaganda that they released, I'd just been speaking about how I don't like whenever I randomly get like gunk all over my screen from playing so much. I'll get like some random like gunk spots because my hands are peeling right now, or occasionally from how much I sweat from playing. They occasionally like peel and whatnot, so I'll get like I'll get like random gunk spots on my screen, and one of the issues or one of the things was I was just like how I get this like almost like the little like that little girl scream where you're just like yuck or whatnot. Like I started talking about that, and then they released like a whole little pink vehicle skin and whatnot that has like a little girl on it, but I mean an anime type rendition of an underdeveloped like preteen chick. So I mean it was just hilarious. It just made me laugh to think about, but it's just kind of how it happens. people trying to get more notoriety than me off of me doing something. They just try to override who I am because they stand to lose what I did already and what I got plagiarized for. Because like as I stated, I'm in different networks, so my stuff doesn't make it out to every network. I'll get plagiarized and then someone else rewrites it and then they claim to be me, and then I'm just like kind of stuck there like, whoa, that's my work, how is that being released? Almost like when you watch the show The Simpsons, there's an episode where Krusty the Clown has people hired throughout the world that are like the different renditions, different countries, they're Krusty. Just because I was basically going about doing that whole same thing with Face, me being the only Face, the real Face, and then a bunch of just other offset countries that produce in their language, in the language of the country that we're technically at. So I mean, I would have basically hired every person out, but I technically got plagiarized, and people tried just taking it as what it is because I'm in the U.S. They technically don't run the same thing because I wasn't born in the U.S., but I mean, that's technically how it goes. But I mean, this is all the structure I developed that the U.S. just tried claiming other for. We're all in lucid dream states, basically, and they're trying to claim other by this point. I'm like 90 years old, being made to relive my life so that they could try to plagiarize my work. And I'm just like, nah, I ain't dealing with it. I'm over it. You guys are a bunch of garbage and pedophiles roaming around my stuff, so get the fuck out of my stuff. Regardless of what you pedophiles try claiming. And then they'll even try to claim the same thing that I'm claiming, just because they're like, oh, well, you said that like 10 months ago that you were that this wasn't that you weren't in this place by like choice or whatnot, and then they try to misconstrue it as to what that was pertaining to. So it's just like, I'd rather just like not even talk. It's nothing but pedophiles roaming around in my stuff, claiming to be me. And they hire out a bunch of pedophiles, and then it's just fucking disgusting. They have kids, like, they claim to only be like a certain age or younger than me, but they're like really like a few thousand years old, scamming all of society, just like going around kind of like they portray in Futurama, how they do the whole courtroom case. They're a bunch of aliens, they don't know better. So you just hire a bunch of actors and make them think that that's like really how court works. And that's technically what they do to the rest of the world. And then you send your kids over whenever they say it's a time of peace or whatnot, and they just really rape your kids and your whole lineages of everything that you guys have or had going for you. That's technically all the U.S. is known for. A bunch of rape and disgusting stuff. No, they think it's a joke. It's just like, no, I'm just over your pedophile shit, so get the fuck out of here. Stop using my face regardless of what you pedophiles think. Dang it, I already have a suppressor for my pistol. Yep, see, this is the skin. Boom, and it's so epic and like cute and whatnot. So it like brought out like the little girl inside me. Inside. It was just kind of hilarious. It's just like, man, I was just talking about this and bam. It's so epic too. Like the lotus blossoms or the Chinese flowers or whatever those flowers are. Still can't get over the skin. We almost won the match that I was playing in with these people. I hope to find a vector soon. Have a full kit and loadout for it. Just kind of don't have a vector. Extended mag, suppressor. Such a dope and epic skin. I can't get over it. I'm like not gonna lie. It's like by far my favorite skin. I hate when they set me up on different networks too. Here's how I know I'm a different network or different set of like protocols, different countries overriding what network or server I'm on. If I can't use my right thumbstick, it means that they have me on a different network who's coded slightly different and they can't see it. Sometimes you'll notice these vehicles, you see how like this top right corner, the corner that I'm in, it's like slightly glossy and overly rounded. Sometimes the vehicle will be like extremely square, like square, like rugged, like not enough graphic input, like a lower rendition than the regular rendition that I'm in. Even for a low res graphics, which I'm running like the lowest right now with the fastest frame rate, just to, I don't know, I kind of got tired of all the lag. Kind of got tired of losing so much, so I kind of started running this. So this is technically how it runs. And that's also how I know. Oh, and I can't. I'm using my left thumbstick instead of my right. That's one of the main ways I kind of figured this out. It took me a while to figure this out, but I mean, I couldn't figure out why. Oh, and I have a lot of Chinese people and Asian people and like their sister countries or own countries, or their territories, their territory countries, almost like the U.S. owns like Guam, or those like smaller islands like Guam, I guess basically Guam, or like a territory of the U.S. or like the British Islands and the U.S. Virgin Islands and whatnot. Those are technically how Britain won, and then how the U.S. tried plagiarizing Britain. Well, if you guys get this, I get this type setup. And neither nor should have gotten it either. So neither gets it, but then the pedophiles in Britain and whatever other pedophiles are using go around causing even more damage and claiming other. I wanted that AWM, but I didn't want to lose my vector or my Tommy gun. I always forget to just like to switch over to my other gun. But I mean, they misconstrue everything I say because I hold so much power within all these countries that they're just like, well, I mean, if you're like the main dream state person, it's your fault, your fault. And that's what they get stuck saying for a while. Like, instead of just saying like something else, it's like that idiocratic piece of shit. What's his name? Trump, just kind of constantly trying to repeat himself, but he's so fat, stupid, and stammering all over the place that it just gets on my nerves. He's not on my side, so I totally have nothing for them. They don't pay me. They didn't see for me to get paid, but they did see for my policies and everything to push. And that's the only reason he actually won. I didn't want a female president. I didn't want a black president because the people weren't ready for it, but they still raped people. They still raped society, and we had to end up dealing with it, which is basically what happened. They didn't want to sell that fact that they just went around raping society. So, I mean, that's technically what it is. Just because half the time they aren't caught doesn't mean that we should be dealing with it. But I mean, it's just technically what happens. Kind of technically how the Jews ended up getting basically almost genocided and killed by the Germans. And they went around raping people with black people. They went around raping people, claiming that this was their country, like they tried doing in Jerusalem and whatnot. And then they started hiring out the black people from those countries and neighboring countries to go around causing all sorts of rape and other stuff that they wouldn't really broadcast. And then bam, Hitler started a genocide against them. Welcome back to the show. Oh yeah, and I was stating also they went with my policy of, well, if big business has them covered. What? Are you going through like maintenance or something? Oh, dude, it switched to the